In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the Tech Zone.
Welcome back to the Tech Zone. Paul Amadeus Lane, ABC News Radio, KMET, iHeartRadio, iTunes. No matter how you look, listen, download, subscribe to the show, we are just so happy that you are doing so. Don't forget, if you'd like to connect with me, go to my website, paulamadeouslane.com, the new revamped website. You can connect with me, find out some of the great things that I'm involved in. You can find out about my being an accessibility consultant, speaking engagements, just everything you need to know about me. You can check it out on the website, paulamadeouslane.com. So the question is, why is my voice sounding like this right now? Well, I'm really trying to be sexy, and is it working? No, I'm just joking. It's just those allergies in this time of year that has my voice just, let's say, tripping a little bit, so. But I thank you for staying with me as my voice is sounding like this. At least it's not sounding nasally like noop, 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 noop. It sounds pretty cool when it's kind of raspy. But why are we so intrigued when it comes to lighting? Young and old. You throw some lights up, we're just like a deer in headlights. But why is that the case? Why do lights affect our mood? Sometimes when we want to spend time, with the one that we love, we have a nice little lighting and a nice little music, and then we want to, let's say, stir up some emotions or something. Like when you go out dancing or something, you may see lights flashing and music is bumping and you're just like going everywhere, the lights going everywhere. Why are we so intrigued with lighting? Well, there's one company that's really taking lighting technology to the next level. And let's find out some of the great things they're doing and how we can get us some of that too. And I'm so excited right now to have these gentlemen with me from RocketLife to talk about their fantastic product that they have. We have the CEO, we have Daniel Kay, and we also have David Bettino, who is the communications director over there. Gentlemen, welcome to the program. How are you?
Paul, thanks so much for having us. We're excited to be on.
Good morning. Hey, good morning. I'm excited to have you guys as well, too. Now, one of the things I wanted to ask you first off is, why are we as humans so intrigued with lighting and lights? And Daniel, why don't you answer that for us first, and then we'll get your take on it too.
It's such a great question, and it's what really drove us to do what we're doing. I guess let me start from this way. We're around light most of our lives. And I think the question we asked ourselves when we started this is, well, why is it so boring most of the time? And so that's really a big driver for us, is that we wanted to find ways where people could control their light, could do interesting things with it, entertain with it. And it's a fundamental of our existence. So let's do something special.
And Daniel, let's get your take to that. I love it. I love it, David. Now, David, let's get your take.
I think one of the interesting this is something Daniel pointed out when we first started this project more than a year ago. We were walking around and looking at all the open signs you see in businesses that use these LEDs, and they're just so basic and tacky. And we thought, this is something everyone sees every day, and it could be so much better. They're just doing the very bare minimum of flipping on an LED and flashing it. And with our background in visual effects, we could just make this, cinematic. We could tell stories with light.
And just there's so many places where there was opportunities to do it too. People's homes, their cars, all kinds of places. And so it just started us thinking. It really started us thinking about what can you do? What can you do with light?
And you know what? I'm glad you brought that out, Daniel, because I know you and I kind of talked about this before the interview, and even David and I via email. I remember the first time, as a lot of our audience know, I'm confined to a wheelchair. And I remember when I was getting fitted for my latest wheelchair, they were saying, hey, you can get LED lights at the bottom. And I was like, what? You can? This is freaking cool. So I definitely feel you when it comes to that. And being in the visual field, how did you know you wanted to do something to really intrigue consumers out, and how the market has really shifted and now consumers really want to see something like this?
Well, I think that was the trick. What we found out there, and we've been playing with LEDs for a long time. I mean, these are fun little light bulbs that you can do amazing things with. But most of the time, you have to be like a programmer or know how to do hardware and all these kinds of difficult things. And so, and even if you're a programmer, it's like it takes so much time to do it. So what we decided to do is just, let's take on this problem from a consumer standpoint and say, what would someone need in order to make amazing visuals, set the mood for their room? What would be the kinds of things they need? So we came up with a pretty cool little hardware box that handles all the control, some amazing software. Really excited about the software that lets you, just with a touch on your phone, change patterns, do some really fun things. And then if you want to get more creative, some amazing timeline software that lets you get in and create your own stuff. And so it was so important for us to make it so people really felt like they had control and could maybe be creative with this. And the whole thing attaches to these special little LEDs, these special little lights that come in strings or strips or discs, all different kinds of methods of actually playing out this light. And you can create some amazing stuff with it. I mean, I think that was the thing for us, is that if we tie these things together and we integrate this together, you can create some amazing things.
I love it. I love it. And David, when it comes to this project and everything that you guys are in, what was kind of the thing as a communication director you wanted to make sure that you communicated to the consumer out there to make sure, hey, we're different, this is what we have to offer?
That's a great question, because it kind of goes back to that concept of the open signs that you see everywhere. There's a bunch of LED strip lighting coming out now, but the thing is, it's really generic and limited. Most strips you get will show any color you like, as long as it's one color at a time. There's some that do patterns, kind of chases and stuff you might see in Christmas lights that you hang up around your gutters, but they're canned programs. And so your choice is either one color or these kind of same patterns that everyone else is doing. And one of our first concepts was, what if we redid holiday lights? You could hang up your lights for Halloween and have this amazing, orange and purple look to it, and then pull out your phone. It's Christmas time, one tap, and suddenly you've got red and green, or you've got candy canes. And there are all these other holidays that sort of come to mind when you think about how easy it is to change patterns. You could have a special light for your birthday. You could have one for St. Patrick's Day, for 4th of July, all with a single tap. So, you think about, you hang up your holiday lights and you use them like 1 week out of the year, when there are actually so many occasions throughout the year where you can just make it so much more exciting by having custom light.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love the idea. Like, I put my lights up and then just change my holiday at a whim. Because we just did Halloween. Guess what? I left my lights up, and we're going to go ahead and do those for Christmas as well. And we're also seeing, like in my neighborhood, for some reason, people started recently decorating for Halloween. We're going to see this happen for 4th of July. We're going to see this happen for all different kinds of holidays. Not to mention all the stuff you want to do in your house as well. And so, one thing I wanted to do for sure is just show you how small this little box is. This is the light box itself. It's a tiny little box. And inside it is a cool little circuit board that we created. And these LEDs, you just attach them up to it. It actually has a rechargeable battery built in, so you can run a small number of lights just by a rechargeable battery. It's all controlled via Bluetooth low energy, which means that it's will work right with your phone. And I thought the idea that we had for making something super flexible would let people sort of decide the kinds of things they wanted to do, just again on a whim. I want to put something up for a decoration for a party I'm having. You know what? I'm going to go DJ somewhere. Let me go ahead and grab these and do some special effects. Or I'm going to do something in my car or my holiday lighting, etc. So it was just important for us to let people use light in all kinds of places. that they just hadn't been able to before.
I love it. And, when I first researched the company, I was like, wow, this is cool. We can show off our Laker colors, our Dodger colors.
Oh yeah.
We can do a lot of things, so a lot of people out there who have team spirit, they can coordinate when it comes to their team. And I think this is fantastic. And when it comes to some of the different, I guess, user different things that users can do with it, I guess it's limitless, right? Somebody can say, hey, I can use this for a baby shower, for a wedding shower at my house, and all these different things as well, too.
Absolutely. And one of the things that we love about this too is that you can use it in the box and just have fun with it and put it in all the places that I mentioned. You can also take it out of the box if you want to. If you're a little more of a DIYer and you want to take the board out and put it in something else and make something neat with it, you can do that. We started to get a little crazy with it and decided that since the software that we're doing was so easy for people to work with, that we'd add in some more functions. So we just added in some sensor functions that allow people to influence it. When you walk up, for instance, it can do something different. So it can sense your proximity. There's touch sensors. There's light sensors, there's things like that. So we really wanted to make it so that it's an interactive product as well. And that's going to open up a whole bunch of possibilities for people. If you're a slightest bit creative, I think you'd have a lot of fun with light.
Wow. So listening to you articulate about it, Daniel, so in other words, little box is upgradable and programmable that things can be done for the future. So if ones get the box, they're like, hey, we can expand it to this, expand it to that. I even saw like a demo of what you guys showed on YouTube. Like you can do like a light pattern, you can do all these different things. And talk about the technology behind that. How did you guys know you were able to do this and be able to make it in a way that it'll be user friendly as well too?
Right. Well, the first thing is, I think it's important to understand what it takes to really do a product like this. I mean, for us, this is about a team of people. We're not a huge team, but we're diverse. We got hardware, we have software, we have design. And so we really think about it that way. The other part of it is the community out there that become part of that development for us. I mean, this is one of the main reasons why we decided to do a Kickstarter, is that I had this great thought about how we should develop things, which is we come up with an idea, we do the best we can with our hardware, software, and design, and we integrate this together and we get it out to people. Like we've been beta testing this, and we get it out to people, we get feedback from people, and they become part of the development team. And again, that's why we wanted to kickstart this, because people who join in on the Kickstarter really become part of the team. They're the first people in on a product like this, and I think that just makes it really fun. And so that philosophy and that culture that we try to develop as a company really is what creates this product along with our community.
I love it. And speaking about the Kickstarter program, what are some cool things that ones have done with light already?
Oh, David, you got a bunch. He's keeping a list.
Right. It's really kind of a mindset, and I think my favorite was we started looking around the office to see what could we light up, and someone noticed we have this little robot vacuum, like it's a kind of a Roomba knockoff. And it's circular, right? And it happens to be exactly 1 meter around, which is what the light strip comes in. So we wrapped a strip of LEDs around the vacuum, put a Bluetooth speaker on top playing some techno music. And because it all runs from batteries, we sent our little vacuum out, running around the office, blasting tunes and vacuuming and flashing. And this is silly, but it took minutes to do.
Yeah, there's a group of people that are making a cornhole game. Oh, yeah. It is the most fun cornhole game you can imagine, because you're sitting there and it's just vibrating with light. And there's a little shot of that in our video. You can see it, but it's just vibrating with light. And every time you hit the board with that bean bag, right, with that bag of corn, it flashes up at you. And if you make a goal, it just goes nuts. And so if you make it in and score. So there's just so many fun things that I think people are going to do with this. And those are sort of the creative things. Personally, sometimes I want to go into a room, I just want to set a mood. And that mood is not necessarily one with a big bright white light in it. So I think a lot of it, I mean, when I use this, it's like, I gotta, put on some tunes and just sort of, have a nice looking glittery particly light up there going. Oh, it's fun.
I love it. So we can get our swag on when we trying to get, kind of like we're trying to get a little romantic. We can set the mood and everything. I love that, Daniel. So Daniel, what inspired you as a CEO to launch this product and that Kickstarter program? Because we know your background is in visual, but when did you decide, I want to step out into this realm and to offer this kind of product?
Well, the Kickstarter allows us to do something really great with the community. It's really a trade. What we're saying is, hey, if you come in and be part of this process with us, we'll make you a deal. We will give you the first in on it, and we'll lower the price like crazy on this in exchange. And what we're getting is it helps us with our manufacturing. It helps us, we've got this product ready to go, and we want to make a bunch of them. And so that's what that great trade is. And so it's really a Kickstarter is supposed to be a win-win situation, and I think that's really what drove us on that side. In terms of lights themselves, there's a shot in the front of the video of me in actually the 1970s with my LED watch on, with long hair, bending over a workbench, putting LEDs on my CB radio. So I have been interested in lights for ever since I can remember, really. So we're just driven by just taking something that can be amazing and beautiful and finding a way to let other people do that as well. That's the thing that's most exciting to us.
I love it. 1970. So you must have been like 5 or 6 years old when you were doing it, right?
You're very kind.
So what I think is really cool is that you have a little something to show us, a demonstration that we can watch, those who are checking it out on video and everything.
Just a quick hit here. I think this is kind of funny. So there's a story that goes along with this. All right. So I put up my Halloween lights this year, and with one of our prototypes. And it was great because people would come up, and these great little kids would come up. We had it so that it was beautiful, some music coming up and these great patterns and everything. And then when they came up, the sensor would sense them, and it would basically do some other kind of cool stuff. So what happened was, I remember the year before, when after about 9 p.m., the people coming up weren't cute little kids anymore. They were like 20-somethings with pillowcases and no costume. So what I decided to do was have a special pattern for light. So I'm going to flip this over here and see if we can get a shot of this. Maybe David can help adjust this. This isn't my house. We're actually, there's a shot in the video that you can see of it. But just to give you an idea of what happens, I'm holding up my phone here. And so I can basically turn on a pattern. There's just a simple pattern going on these lights. And when the kids came up, with those pillowcases, with those no costumes, I basically flashed some lightning and scared them so bad that they just amazed at what the reactions were. There was quite a few of them that just ran. So so that was sort of the fun part for me.
I love it. We had the yo ho, the Pirates live for me.
No, I had sound effects on there and all kinds of stuff, and cats screaming and everything like that. It was fun.
That's pretty cool. And David, when you see this kind of thing that you're able to do with the product and everything, especially with the Kickstarter program, being in comms, how does that make your job easier? Because it has to make it easy, because the proof is in the pudding, right?
Well, I think the wonderful thing about making creative tools is it's so rewarding to see what people invent with it. And we're just constantly surprised by even the very first project. Someone took one of the light strips and stuck it on the side of her treadmill, and then set up a pattern that was synced to the beat just by counting out how long it would last. It's anytime you make a creative tool, it's like being a teacher or something. It's such a reward to see how people take your beginnings of an idea and then make something totally artistic out of it.
Yeah, well, one of the things I've loved about this is the people doing things like PC mods, people doing special effects and all kinds of things, and because they're taking pride in what they're working on, they want it to be cool. Whatever their hobby is, they want it to be cool. And our philosophy is, you want it to be cool and you want it to be lit. and to do something fun with it that's actually personal, individual, not just something that you buy for a few bucks that does the same pattern that everyone else has, but something where you've really chosen these things carefully and maybe even created your own.
I love it. And what I like what you said about staying lit. So this is a way we can stay lit without getting in trouble.
There you go.
And we can have some fun with it, right?
There you go.
So as I look at this right here, looking at what you're able to do with this. So in other words, I can have the lights on my wheelchair. I can have my theme music going as I'm strolling through wherever I'm going.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, and because of the sensors and other things that we have too, it could, we'll show you how this stuff works. But given the rotational speed of those wheels and all these other kinds of things, there's fun stuff you can hook up to it. The main thing we changed in that realm was that it used to be that you had to be a programmer to do that stuff, and so we've hooked this up so that you can put on a little sensor. You can just set this in an easy little interface to set how you want it to work. We've really taken a lot of just a big stance about number one, when you're going to program these modules, there's no wires, everything's wireless. Number two, you don't have to actually be a programmer to do it. And what the funny thing is that for the programmers we've talked about, there are a lot of times, guess what? They don't always want to program either. It takes time to do all of this stuff. And so we wanted to give you a lot of flexibility without having to get in and do that.
And you should talk about the photo aspect.
Oh yeah. Okay. So this is that's a great idea, David. This is one of my favorite parts of the software. So the way it works is you lay your lights out, right? So like for example, we got a great example of a house, and you draw and you take a picture of it, you bring it into the software, and you literally draw the lights onto the picture. So you sort of reel them out. There's a little interface that you can use just to reel those lights out, put them wherever you want. And so they basically match the real lights that are there in real life. And when you do that, what you're really doing is you're allowing the software to know where those lights are so that you can map these effects visually on top of them. And so when I say mapping, it means that since we know exactly where they are in space, we can do special things and special kinds of effects with it. So it's not only easy for the consumer to do this, and for someone who's using it, it is really fun for us from a programming perspective because of all the special things we can do. So that's a cool part of the software. And then you take it from there into the timeline, and then you just start dropping effects on, like, I want this. You can create your own if you want to. And of course, we come with a whole bunch of neat effects. So if you want to just push a button and go, you can use it that way. But I think people are going to get really excited about the creative part of it too.
Who would have thought that technology would be the point now that we as consumers can program all this with the way tech is now. And I remember my background is in music. And I remember in the late 80s when MIDI was real big, and we used to do shows, and we used to sync up our MIDI with our lighting and everything, and to have like different effects and everything goes with the beats and everything. It's amazing to see now, what you're able to do, because back then we had SMPTE and all these other things with lighting, but now it's like amazing. And who would have thought that we would be that far today in technology that consumers can really, experience this without having a programmer sit there and program it for them?
Well, and I think what we're seeing too is in smart homes and smart home technology. I mean, we've got Alexa, and we've got Google and Apple all really working and competing for the technology in your home. And so, we see all these things coming up, and these are things that we'll be supporting with our technology as well. This makes it easier for people to use. The trick for us, though, was that we saw a lot of things coming in there, but I don't know. Sometimes you just want to have something that's exciting and interesting and fun, and we think we can add. So we can fit right there in that space. We can add something really neat that when you say, hey, I'm not going to say the name because it'll trigger everyone's devices, but hey, whatever, give me just a sunset. I want that really to be a sunset. Right. I want that to really look like that and have all those things, or if I want to have a starry night or whatever. I don't want it just to be, hey, turn my lights red. So we really want to put ourselves in that space as well. And I think that power that we're giving the normal people out there to do that, to make their home someplace really, really special. I think it's just important. I feel like we almost have a responsibility in the industry to help people do that.
I totally agree. So are the skills available now, or that's something in the future we can look forward to?
Oh, we're going to be putting this in version 1. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That's awesome. So what is the future for Light? I mean, because hearing you talk about it, I'm intrigued. I know everyone listening or viewing right now are intrigued about it. So what is the future? How can you make this even better than what you guys are talking about right now?
Well, I think it's the customers, the people who are the first to snatch this up, who are going to show us the future. Because, like I said, whenever you make a creative tool, you have no idea what people are going to do with it, and you're always surprised and always delighted. And just in the few weeks that it's been out for beta testers, we're seeing some amazing stuff that we wouldn't have anticipated. And what we did with the system was we made it so powerful that it can be extended just like crazy. So you can do it as simply as plugging in the LEDs and tapping your phone, or you can open up the box and connect all kinds of electronics and just take it as far as you want. And that's what really makes it so exciting. Is that we're just going to see this everywhere.
Wow, it kind of reminds me of an old Little Rascals episode when the little guy was saying "remarkable." That's what it is when it comes to this. Now, before we give out the Kickstarter information, is there anything else out there that we didn't articulate to the audience or the listener out there that you really want to really let them know about before we give that information out?
Well, I think the most important thing is that this product really isn't done until it has community around it. I think that our philosophy in the company is this is about people. It's about, like David's been mentioning, the cool things that people are going to do with this product are going to define the product. There's an idea out there that I think is so important, and that is that when we release this product out there, it's no longer our product anymore. It's not, it is a joint product between us and the community. And so I think that we don't actually know exactly all the things that we can do with it. We got a few ideas of our own, of things that we're going to extend to. But oh my goodness, when we see what people do with this, the sky's the limit.
And I'm so glad you guys are doing this Kickstarter project, because looking at R&D, to me, Kickstarter is a lot better because you actually get the consumers who are your market. Sometimes with R&D, you get people who, professional R&D guys, and they have their own mindset. But when it comes to getting real feedback from the consumer and you guys are able to implement it, I think this is going to continue to help the company to be innovative and be on the cutting edge when it comes to if things need to change, if things need to stay the same or certain things. I think you guys are hitting a home run with the Kickstarter program.
Oh,
great.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yeah.
All right. So we're on the Kickstarter page right now. So what can ones find out more about this? 'Cause I know you talked about it before, Daniel, about you when you were younger, putting the lights on and everything. But what else can they find out on the Kickstarter page?
Well, there's a bunch of great deals are on this page. So first of all, you're going to see some wonderful videos really showing it, and you just have to see that. And then what we did is we put together a few different packages that are on there that give people some choice, and it starts really reasonably. I mean, I think the entry level package starts at $99, and so the value on that, I mean, that's quite a bit off the retail price of this product. We are super excited about providing people with different kinds of LEDs. So some of the packages have both light strings you can use for holiday lighting, or they have strips that you can use for architectural lighting. There's that shot of me.
Yeah, I'm checking it out. There you go.
And I think that there's a package that includes sensors. So we're really trying to give a good variety depending on what people want to do, because there's just so many applications. So we have a good variety of things on there. A ton of information, a lot of technical information as well for people who like to dig into that and see all the fancy things we're doing.
Awesome. And the best way for someone to access that Kickstarter page, should they go to a particular website to get there, or what's the best way the ones can go?
Yeah.
The easiest way is to go to rocketlife.com/light, and then there's a button there that'll take you right to the Kickstarter.
Awesome. So gentlemen, before I let you go, is there anything else out there that I neglected to bring out during the interview and the spotlight, so we can make sure we get everyone over there to be a part of this Kickstarter project?
Paul, we just have to thank you for having a great show, great venue for us to show this, and I think that you just do a great job on this. So please Keep this up and, keep this tech word traveling. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate that. I'm going to play this clip for my wife so she can treat me a little better then. But I really appreciate being with you guys and talking with you guys, and much success out there. And please come back on when you guys have more information about Light or anything else that you guys are doing over there at the company, because I think what you guys are doing is amazing. And to bring this to the consumers out there, and I'm looking at the young kids. Kids, can you do this as a hobby and do a lot of great things, creative things, and I think you guys hitting a home run with this.
That's great. We love the idea that it's a family product too. That is just that really warms us. So
do not be surprised if you see me CES 2019 all lit up. Now let me quantify what I'm saying. I mean lit up in a good sense, not what you think about being lit up. Get your mind out of the gutter. That's all that I'm saying. But I'm looking forward to seeing what this company is going to be doing in the future too, with some of the lighting innovation, some of the applications that we can use this lighting, how easy it is for us to do this ourselves. And I'm so looking forward to it. Yes, I am. All right. It's time for our last break of the show. When we get back, see, I can't even talk right now. I'm just so enamored by what's going to happen next. But when we get back, we are going to talk about something that just came through the newswire recently about a major video game company maybe not being at E3 next year. Now I'm talking about the player of the player not being at E3 next year. So I'm going to be joined by my great friend, gaming editor, gamer, Tony Polanco, coming up in our next and last segment, coming up right after this on the Tech Zone. We'll be right back after these messages.
In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the Tech Zone.